students and staff to the invited guests of the first ever celebration of the National Periodic Table Day. My name is Jamar Williams, and today's events will be filled with fun and learning. First, students will participate in Kahoot, and the top 5 participants will earn an Eastern Periodic Table Day shirt. Mr. Stoneman will discuss why we should celebrate National Periodic Table Day, and Dr. Holt will discuss the significance of the Periodic Table Day, and students will have the opportunity to meet the professor from Bellarmine University during the refreshment time, which the PTSA graciously provided.
Now, while they're doing this, often, he's quiet now, often we are remembered based on our accomplishments. Okay, raise your hand if you know what happened on January 15th, 1967. Just raise your hand. Okay, so what I see here is that I don't have a lot of football fans in the audience. Because on January 15th, 1967, the first NFL Super Bowl was played. Does anybody have any idea who won that game? Raise your hand. Right there. Green Bay Packers won 35-10 against the Kansas City Chiefs. See, winning does matter. Winning establishes traditions. Okay, let's look at the World Series. The first World Series, who won that? Anybody know? The Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox beat the Philadelphia Pirates, right? Let's look at baseball, football, basketball. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of the Syracuse Nationals. All right, Syracuse Nationals. Who did they play in the first NBA title? Okay. In the first NBA title, they played the Minnesota Lakers. And where did the Lakers go? Yeah, Los Angeles. The Minnesota Lakers won the first NBA title. Lastly, let's look at the World Cup, right? The first World Cup was played in 1930. Does anybody have any idea who won that? No. Uruguay won the first World Cup. Do you have any idea who they played? They played Argentina, right? Now, was America there? Was the United States there? Oh, yes, we were there. What place were we in? We were in 4th place. Now, had we won that, soccer would probably be more popular today than it is, right? So, winning does establish traditions, right? So, if you're wondering, why this day is here today, it's because of students like you. Good students encourage teachers to take risks. You have to remember that. So, I have a few things that I want to point out to you, and then we'll have a wonderful guest speaker from Bowen. Every year on October 23rd, we celebrate Mold Day. Mold Day is the reason I researched the possibility of a National Periodic Table Day. Scientists are committed to problem solving in order to find the correct answer and then promote those discoveries to better our society. Mold Day is a great example of this, since the mold provides chemists with the means of precisely measuring the number of atoms or molecules in a substance. This helps prevent waste and promote accountability in transactions. There are numerous Mold Day activities that students participate in every year on October 23rd. These activities are fun and engage in creativity. And that is the vision for National Periodic Table Day. The periodic table is known worldwide. It is the most recognized table in the world. So anything that we can do to help society better understand the periodic table is going to benefit all of us. I hope chemists worldwide embrace this day and help society better understand why elements can be arranged to promote chemical predictability. Now, this Sunday, many of you are going to be watching the Super Bowl. You're going to say to yourself, they do a really good job of promoting athletics as being very important. There's a lot of pomp and circumstance. You got the halftime shows, everybody's dancing around. I want to be a part of that. Well, let's go back in time a little bit to December 11th, 1941. Does anybody have any idea what happened then? December 11th, 1941. Yes, the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. And you have to remember, when this happened, we were taken by surprise. The Japanese now, they became our enemy. And we did not defeat them in athletics. We defeated them academically. Academics will always be more important than athletics. If we fast forward to today, most of the most advanced technologies are manufactured in Japan. Now, if you look on most of the things you buy, you're going to see made in China. China does a lot of the assembling, but most of the technical things are done in Japan because Japan is now a friend. Now, they're not a friend because of baseball or football or soccer. They're a friend because of academics. In 1899, Bayer began distributing aspirin to doctors to give to their patients. Thanks to the periodic table, we now have a better understanding of chemical bonding. Thus, our healthcare system will continue to improve. Scientists used to think that long life, or lifespan, was a good indicator of health span, described as the years of good health and function. Today, they have branched out to two separate fields. Body Shapes Medical, which is a local company, is an example of doctors working to improve health span to aid in lab-made chemicals. In 1900, the percentage of people over 85 was 0.13%, or 1 in 1,000 made it to 85. In 2010, 13% of the population was over 65, and the percentage of people over 65 is expected to grow to 33% by 2027. What that means for you, this is very important that you understand this. In just 11 years, 1/3 of the population is going to be over 65. Anywhere you go, you're going to see older population, older people. 1/3. Also in 2010, 2% of the population was 85 and over, or 20 in 1,000. Thus, 800 out of 400 students in this school are expected to reach age 85. Now that is expected to continue to grow, but you have to remember back in 1900, only 1 in 1,000 were expected to make it to 85. Understanding how to extend health span apart from its impact on longevity is a growing focus of many studies, and for good reason. Emergency care costs are higher compared to preventative care costs. Imagine a society where a majority of people live to be 100, but along with added years come considerably more physical decline. While there is still a place for lifespan research, health span holds promise for revealing ways to delay or prevent disease and disability so that we can live healthier longer. Understanding we are made of many elements in the periodic table helps the scientists better predict which chemical reactions in the body signal potential disease or disability. There will always be more than one way to make a product, so the challenge will be to determine the best way to treat the illness. There are a lot of different types of bacteria, just like there are a lot of different types of cancer. Improving human understanding of the periodic table and how to make new products more efficiently is a goal of Periodic Table Day. Now, why should we celebrate this day? If we were to travel back in time to February 7th, 1863, John Newlands would remind us this is a period of time when Charles Darwin, on November 24th, 1859, published On the Origin of Species. John Newlands had seen the cartoons depicting Charles Darwin as a monkey, and he knew that Darwin was being harassed. A hero is anyone who is willing to stand up for the truth, regardless of the circumstances. The physicist George Foster asked if Newlands might not attain equally good results by arranging the elements alphabetically. Heroes remind us that life can be tough and even harsh. What can be learned from taking risks? Science demands risk-taking. Thus, another goal of Periodic Table Day concerns preparing new scientists, that's you, to be ready for criticism and failure. Aristotle did not agree with Democritus. You have to really understand, Aristotle had a lot of power. He didn't agree with them at all. He agreed in earth, fire, air, and water. And that thinking went on for 1,800 years until John Dalton investigated Democritus. So, the physicist George Foster asked if Newlands might not obtain equally good results by arranging the elements alphabetically. They didn't agree with John Newlands' thinking. What can be learned from taking risks? Science demands risk-taking, so remember that. John Dalton was the first to propose in his book, in 1808, a new system of chemical philosophy that atoms had weight. Dalton's 1805 table of atomic masses was seriously deficient because it did not appreciate the atoms did not have to be in a 1-to-1 ratio. So, as a scientist, you're going to face criticism. And John Newlands faced criticism. And you're also going to face failure. And John Dalton shows us that failure. I want to show you that in a second. This right here is the Periodic Table Day .org website that I've created. And right here is John Dalton's first set of atomic weights. Now on that table you'll see that oxygen has a mass of 5.5. Now I just read to you why that is the case. So can anybody raise their hand and explain why that's the case? What did John Dalton assume? assumed that water was in a 1-to-1 ratio, that his hydrogen was in a 1-to-1 ratio with oxygen. So if we go on and we look down, every day I try to learn something new. And this is really what I want you to understand today. Failure was a big part of success as far as the periodic table is concerned today. Nobody just gave up. So if we look at John Newland's table, which is the first table that was published in 1863, February 7th. This is the first table that was published. And you'll notice on this table that oxygen is still incorrect. This is 58 years later. It took 58 years from John Dalton's list just to get it onto a table. And today we're so caught up in progress, we're so instant, give me everything now. Text, tell me all the answers. But it's not always like that in science. There's a lot of criticism, there's a lot of failure to try to get to the correct answer. So you'll see that oxygen is the mass there is 7, and that's not correct because John Dalton assumed a 1-to-1 ratio. Now it was eventually determined that it was a 2-to-1, and that changed everything as far as the masses were concerned. I just want to point that out to you. So John Newland's basis periodic table on ideas from Pythagoreans. This is where he faces criticism that worship mathematical harmonies. He knew that ridicule would follow. The Pythagoreans expected their followers to obey specific rules, such as not eating beans and practice abstinence. Now, this Friday or Saturday, let's say you go to Applebee's, right? And you say, well, I'm going to convert all you people in here to Pythagoreanism. And you all have to practice as adults abstinence. You're not going to get a lot of happy faces from it. This is going to create a lot of criticism. People are not going to be very welcoming of that idea. So he was, he was criticized for it. Publishing a book or obtaining a patent on a new idea are both high-risk investments. John Newland was taking a risk with his family, with his integrity, when he was relating to the Pythagoreans and their idea for the periodic table. Just because an idea will work or is correct does not mean it will be an immediate success. People often will get caught up in their idea, and then they will wonder why they end up broke. Because not all ideas will be successful immediately. Many challenges were overcome to produce the modern periodic table. This is what you have to remember, that through your life, you're going to face a lot of challenges. That's not easy challenges. They make you want to question yourself. But we are here today. We are celebrating this because of Eastern High School students. We are now establishing a tradition of excellence from this day. The only reason why I'm up here is because Eastern High School students, they listen to me, they perform excellence in the classroom, and that encourages me to take risks. That's what you have to remember. When you perform well, teachers perform well. And that's just not me who says that. Many great people will tell you that. When I received a patent on an ethanol distillation system, several companies sought their services to promote my idea. However, I did some research and found that many companies were investing in shale, and fracking soon became the new method of oil production in the U.S. Thus, I did not pursue spending more money to promote my patent. Today, there are a number of companies in bankruptcy that produce oil from shale. Inventions and new ideas are high-risk investments, both financially and emotionally, due to pre-existing assumptions or opinions. This is what you really have to remember. When you go out with your new idea, there are a lot of ideas that are already working well, and that would be namely right now oil. For example, let's say that a doctor is treating cancer patients. The plans have worked well, so why pursue expensive improvements? Why should the hospital go pursue expensive improvements? In an ideal world, great ideas have no financial burden. That's the thing you have to remember, something called financial burdens. Who's going to pay the cost? And you really need to pay attention to that because of the growing number of people that are going on Social Security. Often, success presents a feeling that few improvements are needed. You're like, well, these things are working well right now. Why should we improve? There's no need for improvement. However, Winston Churchill believed that success was the ability to go from one failure to the next with no loss of enthusiasm. It is important to note that many have described success as a gift, as if it was meant to be. Because success is often based on being at the right place at the right time. This is the reason Winston Churchill believed in hard work. Continuously work hard, continuously work hard, because eventually you will be at the right place at the right time. Just because an idea will work or is correct does not mean it will be immediate success and produce a profit. Today, Dr. Patrick Holt joins us as a guest speaker from Bellarmine University. Dr. Holt earned his PhD in physical chemistry from Rice University, Houston, Texas. He has 36 years experience in research and teaching at the university level. Dr. Holt has received many awards, including the Pursuit of Excellence, Instructional Development, and Teacher of the Year at Bellarmine. Please welcome our National PR Table Day guest speaker, Dr. Patrick Holt.
Know about? How many have this out the 7th row of the periodic table. So that's where we are right now in our knowledge of elements of the periodic table. All right, element 1, did you watch the X-Files? Okay. First episode, pilot episode. One of those elements was mentioned in the pilot episode. If you saw it, does anybody know which one it was? It was used for alien ship technology. Unum Pentium, number 115, was what they referred to. Now the reality is that